Hey guys, it's Chris from 509 BMX Restoration, and today we're going to do decals on the Auburn project. Pretty straightforward, but I'm going to make videos on this whole build. Um, so I'm going to move this camera and we'll get going at it. All right, guys, we're going to get these decals on. For my higher end builds, I like to go to Elite BMX decals. They're really high quality. He does custom. He has ones that are stock, whatever you want. Just message him and he'll get you where you need to go. These are pretty easy. There's really no rules exactly. I don't know. Some of the purists will freak out about decals and they're taking measurements and looking at archives and whatever else. But I've taken measurements off of stock bikes out of curiosity, and they're all over the map. They didn't have a jig or a template, putting these things on in the factory. They slapped them on, man. I've had brand new bikes in the 80s and 90s, and the decals were not perfect. Some of them were crooked. So I think we're going to do a better job, honestly. Can't really go wrong. I've seen them, 4 inches from the head tube. I've seen them an inch and a half. So really, dude, you just put them where you like it. I don't like to hide them, where the chain ring would be, so don't put it down too far. Don't put it too far up. You can do this at home, no problem. What sucks is though, with the foil decals and even some of the thinner, cheaper decals, you can wrinkle them up, you can ruin them, and that's that. So I mean, it can be a little stressful, but all in all, it's pretty easy. This is kind of nice when you have it flat. But it's also nice when the bike's put together and you can look at it and put it how you want. But this is good. So these from Elite BMX decals, they have a protective cover on them. So you go ahead, peel them off. And these are the kind you can get wet and squeegee on also. I've talked to the guy about it, and he said just go ahead and leave them on for 24 hours. Then peel the protective cover off. But these are really easy. They're not that big or complicated. There's no bends in the frame. So these should go right on. And I'm going to eyeball this first one. Just kind of tack it in place and look, like it's that easy. It's about 2.5 inches or so from the head tube. That's kind of where I like it. And then right down the center, I just go along like that. And then I rub back and forth. I don't make a lot of leeway that way. I go just slowly but surely. I'll get it all on. This works like every time. So, see? Then I'll flip it over, start from the middle, and do the same thing. Work your way towards the edge. Just long strokes, be patient. And then you could really press them on good. And then I leave that protective layer on. Okay. And then let's do the other side. Make sure it's clean. I use diluted Windex, whatever. You could use, it doesn't matter. Use glass cleaner, that's a detailer's trick right there. Glass cleaner is good for detailing. Okay. So it starts right there, it's that easy. Tack it in place. See where you're at. And see, they are coming from a different direction too. So they're not going to be exact. You just want to make sure you're starting where this one's starting, basically. And that's good. That's going to look good. If somebody busts out a ruler on me when this thing's out in the wild, come on, man. All right. I'd love to see that shit at a bike show. Somebody break out a ruler and be like, your decals are not up to code. The world's getting crazy, so who knows? That's coming next. All right, press that on as good as you can. And then I'm going to leave that on for now. Let's see. Okay, now the model decal, you want to make sure you put it to match the other side because of this cable holder here. If you put it too far back, you're not going to be able to match that. You know what I mean? So that's your spot. Line it up on the other side. These get hidden a lot from the pads or whatever. Boom. Easy. Do the other side. Now this is not a legit, CR20R. This is a different year, but that's kind of what we're going for. This is on a full custom, dude. Use the decals you want. It's really the look that you're going for. As long as you're not selling this as, this is going to a customer and he's going to enjoy this thing. Probably ride it with his kids and stuff. Maybe go show it off. No one's going to know, man. This is just a different year Auburn. But these are the decals that look the best, I think. Chrome, green, and purple, So that's what we went with. Looks super cool. Yeah, that looks better already, man. We'll do the head badge here. Not much of a head badge. Just that little guy. He didn't cut these. We got to cut these. Grab some scissors. Now you'll get decals sometimes and you won't use them all because they're not all, for your bike. Sometimes they'll come with, so it'll cover different models for that year. I guess that would just be an easier way to go about. And then this head tube, dude, just center it. Right there in the middle. Easy. I always thought these should have had something bigger and cooler, but all right. Let's see here. We do one of these go on each side. This goes, let's see. Yeah. It's on each side of here. And I just kind of put these on how I want to, where I want. And then if you have somewhere you want to cover a little tiny imperfection or something, dude, decals are great. You know, you're putting on new decals, you can just move it slightly, or you know, put it where it needs to be to cover a tiny eyesore or something. There's a super tiny little nothing right here that's going to be gone forever now. Gone. Little nothing imperfection in the chrome, and it's covered forever. Go do the same on the side. Right about there. And I'll make this one match. Okay. I'm going to leave this protective stuff on actually while I'm working on it. It won't have, you know, I won't get any nicks on it on accident or nothing. So that'll be nice. We got these NOS forks. Dude. Yeah, the chrome on the forks looks just a little better than the frame. It's just because these have never been outside. Okay. So you could tack it on there, make sure it looks good. Looks good to me. I like perfect, dude, but if something's a tiny bit off, it's okay, dude. So don't beat yourself up. This is perfect. It didn't go off at all, but yeah. These were NOS Auburn forks, dude. Wow. I had a hard time getting rid of these forks. They're really nice. They're probably worth, somebody would probably pay quite a lot of money for these, actually. Okay, now this is up to, some people run it. They say there's a certain way to run the other side. Should it go this way? Should it go that way? I always like it reading down. You know, that's how I like it. You could put it like that though, and it reads up. I really like it the other way though. Symmetrical. OCD shit. If you just tack it on there, you can pull it right off. Boom. Perfect. Awesome. We got brand new Auburn forks from the 90s. crazy. People are going to think these are re-chromed. All right. Well, that's that, dude. Really, I figured I'd just show you, dude, easy on the forks and the frame. The link, I'm going to put the decals on the rear link once I put it on. Just because it'll be easy to sit up, I'll put them on. So that's that for decals on the Auburn build. The hardware to put the link on is at the post office. So I will have that later today, and I can put the frame back together tomorrow. I'll finish the decals really quick off camera, and then we can actually get this on a bike stand, and we can pop in the headset and the bottom bracket. I'm thinking tomorrow, which is super cool, man. This thing's going to be on the ground in no time. So thanks for following along, guys. Let me know about my videos. You know, if you want me to do a certain video on a subject, let me know. Or if you like my videos, let me know. If I suck, let me know. Thanks.